Are you okay?
Well, hello and welcome to Progress Over Perfection. The man, the myth, the legend. I often say that, but let's face it, he lives up to it. You do, mate. You do. You come in here with some very interesting topics every single week.
Are you single tonight? You free tonight?
Often I am, trust me.
No pun intended.
No pun indeed. It is Mauro. Lovely to see you, mate. Fantastic to have you in, and great subject. But we've had to bring in the big guns. Let's be honest. Okay? We've had to step things up, and we need a female perspective.
Yes.
So it's lovely to see Terry. Well, quite frankly,
Watch out.
we've actually cable tied her down to the couch. She didn't actually leave.
But look, I really like have Terry in the show. It happened a few times now, and is because anyway she put on a perspective that is very different than mine.
Very different. Yes.
She's more in a soul things in a where I'm more pragmatic, and I don't believe in soulmate. We talked about this. I don't believe in soulmate. I believe in what science say, what
Is that
actually
right?
works.
You don't believe in soulmates?
No, I don't believe in soulmates. Yeah.
Serious?
No, yeah, I don't.
I'm with him, though. I don't.
No, I don't.
You don't believe in
No.
soulmates either?
No.
Wow. But you know you can have more than one soulmate.
You can have more to soulmate. This is why I don't believe in the soulmate. You have good experience with many people, and it's up to you if that person become the soulmate or not. If you put the effort in the relationship, because if you really believe that you have a soulmate and then you stop to work on your relationship, the soulmate become just a mate without a soul.
Oh,
or a ghost,
okay.
if you want to.
Now you've lost me. Okay,
well,
hang on.
a mate
on.
without a soul. What does a mate without a soul look like?
Oh, my ex-wife. There we go.
Aaron, for example, Aaron is a mate.
Yep.
Yes.
You are a mate. My wife is my soulmate, but as I told her as well, because we were talking one night, and I told her, look, I think we're doing very well because we work on relationship, and we are on it. Then, of course, there is many things that we are very compatible. We listen to each other, but because we put the effort on that. If we stop to put the effort and we believe there is the soulmate meets help us to stay together, it doesn't work.
I see.
I thoroughly agree with you. I mean, look, okay, nothing in life works and continues to work unless you put work into it. Okay, imagine if you bought a business and you go, "Oh, I bought it now. I'm going to be successful." It's very naive, right?
Yes.
And I think a business is an analogy there that with relationships.
Yeah.
If you don't put the time into it, where is it going to grow?
You should put research say that in America, because in America they do research about everything, couples spend 50% of the couples spend 35 minutes a month in the relationship to work on relationship.
Okay.
This is why we have
much.
such a high number of divorce and breakup, because people stop to work on relationship. We suppose that the relationship feed themselves. If you have a good relationship, you shouldn't have arguments. But I think I really
But that's
told
actually
you.
not true, is it? Like they reckon that it's actually worse if you don't argue.
Well,
That's
if
what
you,
I've heard.
if you want to have a relationship without argue, as I say many other times, get a dog.
Get a dog. Okay. And argue with the dog?
You don't argue with the dog.
Yeah.
The dog, you feed him, is fine.
He's happy.
He's happy. Maybe if you do something wrong, they will complain, but it's much easier than a person. If you have another person, a relationship is the sum of all the other relationship put in one. So my relationship with my parents, my relationship with my brother, my sister, my siblings, my friends, my relationship with me, and the relationship of my wife with her parents, the relationship between her and her friends, with herself, all together in one. So this is why it's so complex, but it's so beautiful. And if you know how to do it, if you actually work, you can actually grow as an individual in the relationship.
And that makes sense because, okay, we're going to be talking about codependence.
Codependency, yes.
And this is a big thing. I think this, I tend to
Very
think
big.
that a massive percentage, I certainly wouldn't want to put a number on it, but a massive number of relationships are codependent. Like they don't survive without each other. And Yeah, I mean, okay. What are the things we can do to stop that from happening? To retain your independence, but still be with the person you love and have a, I don't know, like a genuine relationship where there's to and fro, I guess.
Well, the first thing is like everything else. First, we need to recognize that there is codependency.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, what is codependency? Now, we were talking, me and Terry, about codependency. We have
Yes.
two ideas about codependency.
Yep.
As I say, my idea is not the final truth. Okay, I'm always looking and researching what can be other truth
Sure.
for the simple reason that other people see things that maybe haven't seen it, and everybody experience codependency in different ways. Now, clinically, for me, if I see codependency, I see in two ways. One, you usually have a person that give up everything to stay next to the other person.
Yeah.
Okay, so partner A and partner B, they live together. Partner A give up everything to stay and support the partner B.
Okay.
Okay, that is a unhealthy codependency. That means that this person lose interest about themselves. They lose themselves in the relationship. The self-esteem go down, because when you don't have goals in life, and all the goals are your partner goals, you don't have any more meaning.
And they lose their relationships with other people, which is a big thing. They kind of drop that family away, or those friendship groups or whatever away, because they solely just, boom, focus in on one person.
But I thought codependency was where, you sort of had this kind of a pattern in your life where, as a female, say, for example, looking at from a female point of view, and then you've been brought up and your father, say, for example. So I have to say I have definitely fallen into that trap of codependence. Okay. So therefore, I depended on my father. So I depended on him for everything. And I don't know, it was that thing that served between him and myself. So then when I met my first love mate, it was a codependent situation.
You're living what you've seen, right?
Exactly. Yeah. But so I have, been in that, it's almost like a helplessness in that case. And then that other person comes in with being the rescuer. If that makes sense.
Yes. Okay. What you describe me, yes, it's codependency, but it's a codependency that you learn as a girl growing up with your father. So your attachment is that one. Your attachment in relationship, you expect that the male figure is does the what your father did with you. Okay.
Yep.
What I'm talking about codependency is when you are a normal person. Okay.
I hope I'm a normal person, but maybe not.
Jury's out. Just saying.
You are a normal person. Yeah. Okay. You have goals. You have dreams. Yeah. For example, Terry, you have your business. Okay.
Yes.
Let's say that you meet this person. Okay. You're going to live with this person, and you drop your business. You drop your dreams. You drop your hobbies,
vision, everything.
Your vision to stay with the person. Oh. That is the codependence I'm talking about.
I see.
Unhealthy
That's
codependence
dangerous.
between couples. But at the same time, there is the other codependency, because it's not only one way; it can be in both ways.
So it becomes like an existential crisis.
Oh, it's a big one.
Well, don't you reckon though? Like, because
I don't know.
if you're giving up everything for the other person, and then so you're losing yourself.
And you don't want to do that. That's a big.
So you're losing your identity, really.
Yes.
And I actually like some of the ways that people are saying in this day and age, you do you, I'll do me sort of thing. And they develop themselves and they both respect each other's place.
Yes, that is a healthy relationship. We were talking about codependency.
Yeah.
So codependency, the other version of codependency, that is not only one way to the other one. Okay, it's not only one way, but codependency is both of them. They start to put their partner interest above themselves, okay, and both of them they lose each other in a relationship.
Right.
That both of them, they, for example, they give up friends, they give up hobbies, they give up things just because they want to be together. Both of them.
Sometimes
yes.
one partner will make
That
it
could-
hard to maintain those friendships, so that's a problem.
Yes.
That's another thing.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
absolutely.
Yes,
we
that's
go
interesting.
more in a domestic violence situation. Well, if me and
certainly a coercion.
yeah,
No question.
coercion.
Yeah.
Coercion is a kind of domestic
Yeah.
violence. Today is domestic violence because if you stop someone to have their independency, now is being seen as a domestic violence. So that is different than you choose to give up everything for the person. Yeah.
And then you get resentment though, don't you?
That is what happened.
Yes.
So, for example, came in a couple few months ago, and they were very. You could see they were very apart. Okay, and one says, "I lost myself in the relationship." And when we went to discover what was the meaning of losing the self in the relationship, that means that both of the person in the relationship give up to pursue their career and their dreams just to not upset the other one.
Wow.
Both of them did it.
Yes,
Well,
I see.
Straight up, I mean, I've done it. Okay, I've lived that. And it's incredibly destructive to your soul and who you are and the core of what you're about. And I've been, and this is for me anyway, and not everyone's as lucky, I'll invert the commas, but when it started happening to another relationship, I put the boundaries up and said, hey, you know what? Been through this before. I'm not giving up who I am. I'm not giving up my dreams and my aspirations.
That's
Love you to bits.
Yes.
But I'm not going to leave that behind. This is me. And and sometimes you've got to let go of someone you love very, very much. But it's tough. But you can't do it. And okay, hindsight's 2020. I wish I knew what I'm saying now. I wish I knew this 20 odd years ago. But that's life. But these relationships, they break your soul down. They break down who you are. Whether it is a domestic violence situation or it is literally just a situation where you just go with the flow because you want to have someone in your life and have that relationship.
But it ends up being quite dangerous, doesn't it? And then, then you've got the resentment side of it. And then who am I? And then the person ends up miserable. And then it never goes really well. But I remember Ian always had a philosophy that women quite often would marry men to change them.
And renovators. I call them renovators.
Renovators. Yeah. And it's actually not what should happen. I mean, should is a terrible word, Anthony Robbins says when you're shooting all over everyone. But, technically you marry the person for who you married, isn't it?
Yes.
Because of them.
Can I say one thing here? Yes, is right. There's women do that, but there's men do that too. Okay. I'm saying this just because just earlier I was talking with a couple. And this couple said, because I know that men do this and women do this. No, stop the horses here. It's too easy. When we generalize thing, we need to understand that there is a percentage in both of the party that does the same things. Now, maybe one party is higher than the other one. But when I talk with couples, I don't know which one is. And to me, at the moment,
you don't know which one is.
When they sit, which
is on what side, so to speak.
Okay,
at the moment, I can pretty assure that this happen 50-50. Affairs happen 50-50. Domestic violence. It depends, 50-50 sometimes. At the moment, it'd be more men than women.
It's 59,
but it's different.
59-41.
59-41. So what, 41 is the
41%, so 41% of men are suffering physical domestic violence, and 61% of women. Is that right? No, I've got the wrong way. So 59% of women.
Okay,
Anyway,
wow.
but this changes.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I've said that really badly. I need to clarify that.
Yeah.
Of domestic violence, not of women. So
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's quite balanced and it's wrong.
Yes,
and something we need to work
quite
on.
balanced and it's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
balance. This is why I don't talk about. I don't say women do this, men are doing this.
Yeah.
Because
it happens both sides.
Both sides.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I pick up on this, but I for me it's very important because if you look on internet, you find people say all the women do this, and then you find other people say all the men do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boxing everyone.
Yeah.
And that what this do? Okay, this keep us fighting against each other.
Yeah.
Instead to sit and talk and discuss about what we're gonna do with that, let's have a look relationship to relationship, okay, and personality to personality, because what happened in one relationship maybe doesn't happen in the next relationship if you just mix take the same person in this relationship, put another relationship, the dynamic will be different. Okay, so it doesn't mean that the person have some situation in one relationship, in the second relationship she will pursue the same dynamic.
We're all different people.
Okay,
But they
because
do
we are
take
different.
themselves into the next relationship. So
Yes.
then they have the same dilemma.
Yeah.
And then they think, oh my gosh, it's the same thing, but in a different clothing and a different body.
Yes, but what I'm saying is,
Yes.
yes, you're right in this. If you don't work in the first relationship, you take in the second.
Exactly.
The point is, in the second, you have another person, and the second person maybe it did the work. Maybe the dynamic are different. So I don't want to judge one person because in this relationship working in this way. So I want to say both in a different environment, in different situation,
I see,
and maybe the dynamic will be different. Okay. This is why I don't like to talk about men and women as a group, because we exclude to talk about what actually happen in relationship, and you give to one of the two the chance to say, hey, this is what men do. No, this is not what men do. This is what you do. Can you do better? That is the difference.
Yeah.
On the codependence thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes codependence works. Okay. When people because that's the role that they desire. That's where the person's come in and they want.
Yeah.
I mean, in a perfect world, we would love to say, yin and yang, everybody's got 50-50 and we bring the same thing to the party. But that's not always the case. So, I mean, what do you think about relationships where, I mean, it might be a little bit one-sided, say, okay? But that's the dynamic the two people have brought together and it does work for them. And I say this because when I'm talking about this, I'm actually thinking about a lot of older people particularly, right, where, there was the roles were very defined. Now roles are not defined anymore. So that
They're
balance,
very blurry these
they
days.
really are. It's the old blurred lines. So, I mean, what are your thoughts there?
Well, what I think when people say it was better 50 years ago, I say, let's talk about. For the simple reason that if we're really going to ask 50 years ago to the couple, maybe younger, what if they could have the chance to leave the marriage, they would have done it? I think the number would be very, very high. Would say yes. The highest number of divorce in the history of Australia was the January 1971. I think that the no default divorce was implemented in law. That means that women didn't have to put together a file against the men to get divorced.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
That's not true. And I'll tell you why. So that's a bit of a misnomer. It's a bit of history that the feminist world has created.
Because that was back in 71.
Okay,
is that
so
right?
71 they introduced the welfare state effectively. 71, 72. 72 is when Gough Whitlam came in and they basically instituted single parent payments. Okay, so they financially incentivize the damaging and destroying of the family, right? So no
But
fault divorce.
if you want to call like this, I disagree with this.
Yeah,
But
no,
please,
well,
keep
no,
going,
that's
keep
okay.
going. Yeah.
I mean, that's good.
Yeah,
thing.
of
Yeah,
course,
different
yeah.
opinion,
We're
yeah.
here to debate,
Yeah.
and
Well,
I'll
what-
be the referee.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, but I mean, you know what? Guess what?
Yeah.
Somewhere between the two
Absolutely.
comments and arguments, so to
Yeah,
speak,
yeah.
is going to be the facts.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
we've got passionate ways
Absolutely,
we look
and
at
then
it.
I'll throw a spanner in the
Why
works
not?
as well. Yeah,
Absolutely, why
let's do
not?
it.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so it was actually a political change and a financial change that incentivized that. And now I'm not going to for one second say that there weren't a lot of women who were unhappy in their relationships and wanted to leave before, and it was difficult, right? But it's never been that difficult. And it was more when the difficultness, if you like, back then was more cultural than legal.
But it was very unusual
What
back
do
in
you
the day
mean?
when people got
what-
divorced, wasn't it? It was
Okay.
very weird.
No. If you're going to read the history books, for women was practically impossible to leave the
Who
marriage.
writes the book? Feminists write the book. So, like,
What do you mean?
Well, okay, you're reading history, okay? Okay, so when you read history, you're reading from the winner's side, okay? So, when we look at the World War II, okay,
yeah.
we're reading the books written by the Allies that won. We're not reading it from the German point of view, all right?
Yeah.
So, when you're reading books about history of this particular subject, you're reading it from a feminist point of view because the feminists wrote the books, so they created the history. And
But they were
that's
big in the day, weren't they?
well, the feminists have complete power of the social services in Australia now, right? We know that.
What kind of war feminists won until 15 years ago?
A
What kind of war?
I don't know.
Or battle against men.
What is the battle you mean?
To be honest, right? I think feminism.
So they're just their
I think that I think that the first phase of feminism was a very positive thing. Something had to happen. Right? No question about it. The second one was a kind of a reaffirmment of those making things more equal. Okay, but let's be honest. Okay, for the last 40 odd years, right? Feminism, the equality was achieved. Okay, equality was achieved.
And what is equality for you?
Well, equality depends on where are we talking. We're talking about in the workplace. Are we talking at home? Are we talking where are we? Right. So
do you think women and men have equality in the 90s in their homes?
Certainly in my home that I grew up in, and certainly the home that I built for my family.
Okay.
And I would say in the family that I built, that feminism rather. Feminism was a very negative thing that caused nothing but problems. My absolute honest opinion about feminism, and this is why so many people are rejecting it now, is because phase 1, phase 2, completely on board with, right? And I grew up with a very powerful mum, right? So, I had a wonderful role model from that point of view. But stage 3 and 4, incredibly negative to society. Absolutely, because what's happened now is it's gone. Third wave of feminism was about taking advantage, so women actually have advantage, and quite frankly, the current one with fourth is about the destruction and the hatred of men. That's very much.
I completely disagree with this.
I would think you would,
So,
I completely disagree with you.
So when you say the fourth one is the hatred towards men. Is that your opinion or is that a fact?
Well, what is a fact? The fact of the matter is, what about all the women who would rather be with a bear than a man, or feel safer with a bear? That when they did that study in America,
that's on them.
But this we have men as well do the same kind of joke, and they say the same stupid things.
I don't disagree on that.
Yeah. No,
okay. All right. Right now, we live in a world like you. Okay, you brought up I mean, didn't want to go there, but okay. The reality is, you brought up domestic violence, right? Yeah. Domestic violence is the most lied about, perjury-driven, completely lacking in facts industry that you could possibly imagine. Right now, it is totally weaponized. That's a fact. Okay. So, and you are financially incentivized. So, okay. And I say financially incentivized, very clear. Okay. So, if you say there's domestic violence in a relationship and you have a child, right, and you leave that relationship, as you know, let's take the child out of the relationship. Okay. If you have a relationship that ends and a woman claims domestic violence, do you know that she's now entitled to 75% of the property? Okay. Now, hang on. Yeah. That's a massive advantage for telling a lie. Okay, and I will also
But did they get together through codependency in the first place?
Well, hang on, I was going to wind the clock back. The day that the day that back in 2011, okay, when Julia Gillard removed the needs for evidence for making claims of domestic violence, that day, okay, what percentage did domestic violence go up in the family court system and the domestic violence industry the next day?
Percentage? Do you know that
No,
answer?
I don't know this one.
I do, 400%.
400%.
It went up 400% in a day because she took away the evidence.
Well, is what happened when the legislation actually finally give the chance to the women to leave.
No, it gave a free pass to lie.
You call
I think you've triggered him.
I'm living. See, so I'm living it. Okay, and I've had my life.
What are you living?
I've had my life destroyed by this industry. Okay. And every single day I talk to men, or not every single day, say 5 days a week, I would talk to men and women, who have gone through this, because women do to an extent as well, right? The industry, the whole thing is a lie. It is about making money. It is about making power. It is not about.
So you tell me that in all governative paper that are out and talk about what is the percentage of women killed by who and men killed by who are a lie.
Okay.
Because if you're going to have a look, for example, here in Australia, and there's been 90 women killed in Australia until today, or I think last year, 98% of these women being killed by their partner.
I'm so glad you said that. And here's my answer to that. So 1 woman every 10 days roughly is killed by domestic violence. Unbelievably, completely unacceptable. Do not accept that in any respect. Okay? So let's stop lying about it. Let's just tell the truth. Let's tell the truth that, hang on, almost all those women, so if you're an Aboriginal woman, you are 28 times more likely to suffer domestic violence.
I don't. Sorry.
No, we get figures and we twist figures. We twist figures and we lie.
I don't. But you need to read what are the percentage properly. Doesn't matter where they come from. Because if we go in America, if we go in US, it's the same. If we go in Italy, until the end of 70s, until the end of 70s in Italy, a man could kill a woman only for the suspicion of her having an affair.
Nearly 50 years ago.
He was allowed to.
Late 70s.
Nearly 50 years. I agree. Ridiculous law.
No, but you have to let me finish, because I understand your point of view, and I'm sorry that happened to you something that is so tremendous.
But it's not just me.
I don't know if tremendous I say the right way.
No, I get what you're saying.
Traumatic.
Tremendously traumatic.
This will sound very condescending, and I don't mean it to sound right, but here's the difference. I'm living in the real world, and I'm living with what's happening in the majority of men's lives now in this country, right? You are a young, happily married man who doesn't have children, and you're not in that situation. You're not seeing what I see.
I'm seeing every day.
Right. Well, you're seeing it every day?
I see it every day.
He counsels people every day.
I'm working with couples. I can take you maybe 15 women if you want. Heard their stories and what happened to them and how and being treated by the police officer and other department because they were talking about the domestic abuse. The problem is we don't want to accept. I'm sorry, but I don't think the female movement did enough. I think we should have more female movement, and I'll be happy to see women. Women should stop to fight only the day that the lower female can run for the higher position in this country as men can do right now, because when a woman enters in a room, is always questioning about her thinking, her knowing things.
In the nicest possible way. That's
It's
her problem.
always been.
That's
It's
her
always
problem,
been
and
like that.
That's the limit she puts on herself. That's the limit she puts on herself.
That is misogyny.
No,
That
it's
is misogyny.
not. It
That
is
is
not
misogyny.
misogyny.
That is
Misogyny.
misogyny.
Can I
It's
ask
such an
you guys?
overused
Can I
term.
ask
No,
you a question
yeah.
here? What can you tell me? I'm going to ask you
Yeah.
this question. So, what is misogyny in your way of thinking?
Misogyny is when someone first hate women, second
You don't
put
hate
down.
women, do you?
God, no.
No.
You always say misogyny.
No, no,
No, I don't say that he is a misogynist.
no,
I say
you
that
don't.
is a
But no,
misogynist
People
behavior.
misuse the
But
term.
he
so
always
there you
says that
Misogyny
he's-
behavior.
Yeah.
A misogyny is when someone
Yes.
hates women
I see,
and
yeah.
put down women and put down what women do, what a woman can do in work, domestic life, political life,
Mhm.
is what is happened in the last 2,000 years.
Yeah.
Because if you want to read the history for real, okay, maybe the last 15 years, women stand up with the Me Too movement, but in the last 2,000 years, until the Greeks came down from the North Europe and settled in Greece and introduced the male gods, until that, women has been used as a coin of exchange.
But you're
to
talking
develop.
about ancient history. You are talking about ancient history.
Really?
You're not talking about the last 40 years of life in
No,
Australia.
no.
You're not.
You can go have a look in. Well, you can go have a look in America now.
Okay, let me ask you this. Okay?
Yeah.
In law in Australia,
Yeah.
let's just cut it down to law in Australia, right?
Yeah.
Cut and dry, black and white.
Yeah.
Okay. Who has more rights, men or women?
It depends for what.
No. In the law, in the structure of the law, who
Should be
has more?
50-50.
Absolutely not.
Should be 50-50.
Well, it's not, but it's not.
Well,
Right? So hang on.
And
In
who does?
Australia,
What
women
is-
have
what is
far
this-
more rights than men. So it is structured that women have an advantage.
But you know
right?
that goes for a lot of things as well. If you notice these days.
but why a man?
There's-
Why a man? Sorry,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
why a man is especially with the new legislation? Why a man is being put down so much?
Why? Because we're in fourth wave feminism, and what's happened is there was
there is no things that maybe we could have done as a man, because I put myself
Yeah,
in
good.
in the
As
in
a
the thing.
man, I
we
can tell
could
you-
have done better.
I tell you
because
right now, I
if
can
I talk-
self-reflect. and I
because
can say I could have done
he dressed up as a woman and went to court.
yeah,
of course, when I took
Sorry,
when
I
I
just
talk
had to
with
throw that one out there.
couples, when I talk
Yeah.
with couples,
Yep.
I feel the same patterns. Okay,
okay.
the woman have to do the business, have to do the work at
Right.
home, have to keep the house
Do
running.
they have to?
Okay, well, someone have to do it.
Someone has, but does it have to be the woman?
Because
though?
the patriarch system decide the man have to go
But what-
out and
but
work,
do
and the
you
woman should
believe
stay
that?
at home.
Do you
Oh yeah,
believe
absolutely.
that the woman
Absolutely.
should be the one
100%.
doing that,
Okay.
and the man should
Right,
be
we're living in a very awkward
100%.
world right now. Okay, and right now, if
I
we
like
have
it.
a war that starts tomorrow, okay,
Mm.
who's lining up to die?
What do you mean?
Well, if we go to war tomorrow, who is lining up? Who will the government be rounding up to go and fight for this country? Who will be sacrificed?
Probably.
I think there is
army?
both of them.
Absolute 100% rubbish. The,
I think
the
both of them.
conscription, for argument's sake,
I-
it's structured that women cannot be conscripted, right?
Mhm.
There's a sexist thing right there.
Mm.
Okay, I
What,
wanna
so
make
you
something
think
very
it's
clear.
sexist because it's men
Who
that have
say
to
that?
go to war?
That's the law, mate.
But no,
But
Read
men,
legislation.
Men
No,
have to go to war,
so
not
there
women.
is no-
Is that
yes,
what you mean?
there is no
Correct.
women.
But that is true.
What do you mean? It's true.
There
It
is
is
no
true.
women.
But yeah, I know it's true. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
The-
it is true that men do need to go. But why do women not go to war?
Well, that's the double standard, isn't it?
Well, but do you think women don't want to go?
I tell you right
I
now,
reckon
come
we'd be
war,
made
every
better
woman becomes a very,
war
very.
blazers than
Every
men.
woman becomes 1955 the moment war comes out. I'm telling you right now.
Don't know about
And
that.
look, I'd say that with jest, but I'm sorry, mate.
Yeah.
Your worldview is very different, obviously.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
You got him on a tender subject.
Yeah,
Well,
fine.
it's
Discussing about things is what we
It's
should
what
do.
what we should do.
This is
Exactly
what
right.
it's all about.
And yes, when we don't.
That's why you're getting a million viewers.
We're friends, and like
Yeah,
the
of
fact of
course.
the matter is, like we can disagree. It's
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
that's
right?
right.
I think
Yes.
with other people.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
understand that. That's all about liking each other because you know what
Well, it's
he's
something we
like.
used to
You
do,
know what?
yeah.
And you're not codependent.
No, it's true.
No, we are
But
not
on the-
talking about
but,
You don't have to be
The
codependent.
codependence. That is the subject we're talking about. And where this kind of came out is the fact that in a truly wonderful relationship, you balance each other, right?
Yes.
Okay, one brings the masculine, one
Yes.
brings the feminine. Sometimes the guy will need to bring a little feminine, and vice versa, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's
You
very
need
true.
to bring the
Absolutely.
tools to the party, right?
I agree with that.
So, but all the legislation, all the social policy for the last 40 odd years, since 1982 with the Duluth Principles, which are the most sexist, absolutely most sexist principles that actually run social law in this country and the US and Canada and many other countries, right? Okay. It's dishonest not to say that there is, quite frankly, incentive to be a woman right now. Why do you think men?
So you're saying you'd like to be a woman?
No, I don't want to. No way. No way.
I just thought I'd just check.
I'd never get anything done. No, but okay. Why do you think weak men? And I'll say it straight out, right? Because I feel this way. Okay, weak men right now are becoming trans and all that kind of thing. Guess what? They want to join the winning team. Weak men.
Oh my God! No, Aaron, come on.
It's a mental illness.
No,
it's a mental illness.
No, Aaron.
Trans is a
I
mental
want to hear
illness.
what I want to hear what Mario
No,
has
I
to
don't.
say.
I'm sorry.
Mario,
No.
what is the no
No,
about?
but
I want to hear that.
Listen
I need to hear
listen
that.
to me, my friend. We cannot. We spend, okay, let's take the last 100 years, okay, since the 20th century, okay. Push away all the what happened before, okay.
Push it away.
Push away. Put it in a drawer and leave it there.
Behind you.
All right, locked it up.
Listen a second, okay. Now, it's a fault of other people if we cannot do things, okay. What I'm saying is, yes, there is a change, and I'm not saying that is perfect. I'm not saying there is things should be maybe look at and make maybe a little better. I don't say that is what happening, okay, is all perfect, okay, but saying that the problem of the man are the woman.
I didn't say that.
Well,
not at all.
Well, is what a lot of people that are arguing against women say, because it's always
Is that
the women's
the
fault.
codependency thing?
No, it's not codependency. There is always the female woman, because women don't know what they want. We know what they want.
How do you know though?
Well, I did not know
Is
until
that
6
the
years
reason I
ago
don't know
what I wanted.
I'm just joking.
No. I'm very insecure as well in my ways. I don't know everything, and I pursued what I think is correct, and I try to inform myself in the things I think is correct. Now, if we want to have a look what's going on around the world, let's have a look, for example, the beautiful country of America, that I believe is absolutely mess right now. Let's have a look what's going on, what's happened in Texas, the last legislation about abortion. If you think that a bunch of men can sit and legislate of what a woman can do about her body, and legislate and say, if you do it, you're going to pay $100,000 fine to your partner and to the family, because this is the last legislation that happened, been passed a couple of weeks ago in Texas.
Men didn't pass this legislation, okay? Men and women that passed this legislation.
My friend,
true. It's men and women. I don't agree with the legislation.
Who are the Republican in Texas are Christian fascist. Okay, they are Christian fascist. It's my term. I use it. A Christian fascist. That especially the few women are in this party are. They have to do that because anyways has been told them to do that since they are told like this. Now, if you think that one is not something against the female movement and the female freedom of choice, because I'm for the freedom of choice. Okay, your freedom of choice it should be allowed until your freedom of choice do not hurt other people.
Correct.
Make sure about that. Yeah.
Correct.
So this, what's happening right now in the US, is a vindictive things against what happened on the other side. Okay.
Now,
this is my point of view.
Yeah.
And what's happening here, and still, I don't think we reach enough gender equality for the simple reason that if you're going to have a look, who is running the biggest company around here are male, and very few female can get inside the board. Now, you don't have to get someone just because of female.
They have to work hard, and they have to be qualified.
They're very hard to qualify.
Work hard, make the sacrifices, play the game by the rules that you need to, by the rules of engagement.
But you must allow them to do it. In how many countries in this world?
No one's stopping them, mate.
Really?
No one's
really. In fact, you see now women driving truck up in north.
Oh yeah. My sister.
But until 20 years ago, you driving a truck? You cannot drive a truck. You're a woman. I did the same jokes.
Yeah.
Women cannot drive. I made the same joke.
Again, this is the difference between the legal, right, and the legislation side, and the social, and the cultural side. You're right. 20 years ago, people would culturally turn their heads up.
But culture put together the legislation.
No.
Yes.
No. Lobbyists who pay money. The reality is, let's cut the crap. The entire legislation system, the entire parliament is as crooked as it comes. Okay, the whole thing is about buying votes. Is also about buying power. Okay, this is why do you think legal?
Are they codependent?
They are codependent
right
to each
now,
other.
I tell you right now, most politicians, certainly in the Labor Party, are codependent with billionaires.
But all of them.
Of course,
from right to left, from the America to the China, they're all the same. The problem is the parliament do what the culture of the country think and does.
No, they do what the lobbyists do, mate. The lobbyists control that. Okay, you've got to understand. I mean, I understand politics. I'm probably further involved with politics than yourself, right? I'm telling you right now. Do the two reflect on each other?
Neck in the
I really am. Do the two reflect each other? Yes, they do to an extent, right?
Yes.
But I'll wind all the way back to that. I said about the Duluth Principle before, right? Duluth Principle is a study that was done in the US in the early 80s, okay? Now, the woman who was the head of the study came out 2 years after the study and told the truth and said that they had actually faked the results to match what they were paid to find. They found what they were paid to find. So they lied, right? Now, the Duluth Principles right now, okay, are what every...
You're talking about here in Australia.
Right now in Australia, right in the US, right in Canada, right in the UK, right? The Duluth Principles are what is used in Parliament and through the culture and through the social service systems, right? That's what the whole social services are based on, right? Now, the principle of that was that women, okay, and how do you feel about this as a woman, okay? You're a victim. You're born a victim. As a man, you're born a perpetrator. Now, they are the two fundamentals of the Duluth Principles, right? Now, that's what they came out. That's what they've been using for the last 45 years, okay? And the woman who was head of the study came out and said it was a lie. They did what they were paid for. It's like what we've seen over the last 5 years when it comes to COVID and vaccinations or whatever. You get the results you pay for. The money is the world is run by money. No one actually cares about people, right? The big people who run the world do not care about you or me, right?
Well,
they care about making money.
Really, really opened up a can of worms here.
I disagree.
Duluth is the most evil and sexist because, let's just digress. As a woman, how do you feel? How do you feel that you have been tarnished as you're a victim? You're just born one.
I don't, because I am not a victim of my history. I am a master of my destiny.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
So I refuse to have that. But then, see, I feel like even when you go back to divorce and, you know, what you were talking about back in 1971, I can remember, I mean, believe it or not, I was actually just in preschool back then, and so I'm showing my age a little bit, but I can remember being in grade 3 and my best friend, who was a bit of a naughty girl, but her mum and dad
Yeah.
got a divorce.
Mhm.
And that was like, whoa. And, all that's coming back to me, it was where, and I think because maybe women were so suppressed and there was so much suppression going on and there was so much, you do this, you stay at home, you do the knitting, you look after the kids, that I think that's where the feminist power came in and took over, because they said, we've had enough.
And I'm
We're
happy
a
with that.
different generation.
But I'm happy with that section of feminism. I
We're
think
gonna
that's a fair
swim.
thing.
You know why, Terry, you are so independent?
Why is that?
Because you are the daughter of that movement.
Oh,
Without that movement, we couldn't have the women that actually think and does what they want, what they're looking for. Yeah, we need to understand where we come from to see why we do what we do.
I agree.
yeah.
Okay, if we really want to have a look, how the dildo was invented.
The witch?
Yes.
Oh, did I hear that?
Yes, you did hear that correctly.
Okay, I
Yes.
heard
You know
that.
why the
Okay,
dildo
yep.
was
I
invented?
thought I heard that.
Mhm.
The hysteria, because men thought that women couldn't have the same level of pleasure that men used to have, and women, to have pleasure, should have gone to the doctor, and the doctor invented this dildo that were helping them to reach orgasm. They would go once a week to do that. Now,
The
that-
doctor is in the house.
that is not
Wow.
patriarchal system. That is not patriarchal.
Mm.
In 1790,
Yeah.
okay, because we need to look at history. In history, has been moment when women try to take some freedom from the man. Okay.
I thought he was going to say something else.
One of these,
Yep.
1790.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
1790, just before the Victorian Revolution in 1848. Okay. Just before, during the French Revolution. In fact, this revolution in 1790 in France, England, and in New Jersey. New Jersey was the first and only state in US in 1790 to free everyone that were living for minimum of 1 year in the state to vote and to participate in the state life. Doesn't matter what is the gender, doesn't matter what they want, love, doesn't matter the color of the skin, doesn't matter whatever. They were living there, they were free to participate and to pay the tax and to vote.
Sure.
That was the only state do that. In the same time, in France and in England, they were trying to free, like we do today, women and homosexual and other gender variety of sexual variety. Okay. Now, what happened? Because if you have that, and this is what's happening right now, if you go to look what happened there, and you go to look what's happening right now, it's happening the same thing. At the time, end of 1790, in England, the rich people say, no, this is not good. We need to put together something that define the rule between a man and a woman. The white dress that you wear when you're going to get married wasn't something because it's pure. Was introduced by Queen Victoria when she married Albert. And she say, I'm going to wear this white dress as a symbol of purity because I'm going to get married as a normal woman.
Okay. So she invented it. Queen Victoria invented that.
If you're going to have a look,
got it.
50 years earlier, there is painting, where the spouse, he was in black and they were in red because the most popular color was red.
Wow.
Okay. Now, what happened there? They say, because the communism came along and we have the French Revolution with
Bastille Day.
Socialism.
Yeah.
Socialism was the bourgeoisie against the kings and the queen.
1789, I believe.
King Henry VIII days.
1790 start the first revolution around that, and the second revolution. Then in 1848 we have the communists. The Marx wrote the communist book, and because he was saying that the socialism was a way for the capitalism to take over the kings and the queen. Okay, so this is why he was against the socialism. But aside that, the reform of the Victorian Revolution was to make sure that the family was divided with the role of a man as a provider, the woman stay at home. And this was created just to keep the two separated.
To keep the
because
two
when
separate.
you have you need to divide and conquer. If you have two people in the same house, they hate each other, you can conquer them.
Of course.
You can make them do whatever they want. You say, you a man, you can do whatever you want because your woman is your woman. A woman was a property.
Back in those days, it was.
Was a property. Now, it didn't pass a long time from that time. We had this revolution in the 60s and the 70s that actually is working until today.
One little importance of that gap, okay, between those two things, right? You've got to be real. Back in those days, okay, the physicality between male and female was very important, and women did need to be protected. That's a reality. It was a harsher world. Technology has changed the world, rather. So that gap there, it wasn't just that people were nasty.
With those corsets they used to wear, no wonder.
No wonder, exactly right. That's a lot of work to get into that. Jeez. But yeah, honestly, that's the reality of it. Okay, women are not as strong as men, generalising. Okay, so that period of time had changed. So as technology and as the world has changed,
testosterone.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Testosterone versus estrogen.
Yeah. So when things changed and when tech started to come into with the Industrial Revolution, and women could work in very a lot of industries then because the machinery was the factor, not the physicality. Right? That's things started to change then, right? And for the better in a lot of ways and bad in others. Right?
Yes, but say at the start, if you're going to have a look, if you're going to read the Decameron from Boccaccio, the Decameron is a book of novels. Written in a 1st century, 10th century. Okay, in 10th century actually they were much more free to express and talk about sexuality than we do today.
Sure.
At the time, priests could have partners, could have kids. For 1,000 years, the church didn't give a damn about marriage. Okay, when they decide, maybe we can make money from here, and we can actually control if we put together true real thing that people can believe. We impose that. They invented the wedding that we have today, the matrimonial that we have today.
Sure.
But if you're going to read the Boccaccio, in the Boccaccio, he described, because there is a story written by women of the time. Women at the time, they say, yes, men are physically stronger and we need them to protect. The point is, we have the same desire they have.
As a woman.
And we have the same need they have.
As a woman has.
Yes.
Our biology is the same.
Yes, we need sex how they want to. And the story that man is more sexual than a woman, and the woman is more emotional than a man, is being made up because you need to control the two sides.
Someone definitely made that.
And this is what about. And this is what about. This is what about patriarchy. It's not
You've
about
been through that.
I've definitely been through that. My God.
This is what about patriarchy. And then there is different situation where we have mental illness, we have mental situation that we are able today to challenge, to discover. Because at the time, probably in the same situation as yours, you could have stoned her to death, your wife, because you said she's crazy.
But the flip side is, in today's world, she stoned me to death.
Of course.
That's the reality.
I'm not.
Right?
I'm sorry for that.
From a social point of view.
I'm sorry.
And as I
I'm
say, I'm
sorry
not
for
saying
that.
it's not just about a personal thing. It's about so many men I speak to. The fact that it is the great majority. We've got to finish this over. We are so over. And gee, haven't we covered codependency well?
Wow.
Geez, I think we need to change the title of this one.
Just, I was going to say.
But I want to get back to a very important point, okay? Clearly, you and I think very differently. And it's okay.
It's okay.
It's actually a very positive thing.
Yeah.
Can we,
You'll
as
probably
a
get
world,
more hits.
well, as a world, not even. I mean, as a world, we need to learn to do that. Okay?
Absolutely,
this is so important.
Yep.
We need to talk about things.
You need to be able to and not be codependent.
That's
not
right.
just agree with the other person for the sake of agreeing,
Very true.
but to hear. I had a great history lesson today.
Right.
It did take me back, and I did realize, where the feminism came from. I'd love to ask you a question though. Can I? Can I do this?
Yes.
I would like to know what your thoughts are about people that are more into the equality these days, because with the new millennium and everything else, so you've got some people that they do like a bit of a swap. So the man will work 1 year, the woman will work 1 year, then the man will stay home and look after the kids. How do you think about that?
I think it's great.
Okay.
I think it's great.
Okay.
I think it's great, especially for men, for the simple reason that if a man learn, for example, I have this couple friend, okay?
Yep.
They got a kid, okay? He took 6-7 months, I don't know how long it was, to stay with the kid.
Yeah.
Okay? He knows everything about the house. Now, the wife do the same, okay? They swap.
They swap, yeah.
But the man have the time to stay with the kid. And the kid actually will grow with more certainty.
Yes, because he had the man.
If you want to have a healthy relationship, happy relationship, as a man, I talk for man, I don't talk about woman because I'm not a woman.
No.
I talk a man. As a man, if you want to be happy in your relationship, you need to be tuned with your emotion, be open to talk, listen, learn to listen. Just no answer, because listen what the partner say. Okay? I say as a man, listen what the partner say, be present, and be emotional connect.
I agree with everything you've said. And as a man who has actually played both sides of this, I've been the breadwinner, the provider. I've also been the stay-at-home dad.
You have?
Yes,
I've
done
all that.
Nappy changing champion of the world. I can do 5. Boom, 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 watch me. It is a very different perspective. I have a different perspective of raising children than just about any friend I know.
Absolutely.
Right? And it's a wonderful thing. And I'm very, very glad that I had that. And that experience has defined me. So I think, if you can spend time with your kids, guess what? You can always make more money. You can always find creative ways of doing it. My ex-wife and I,
you can't take it to the grave.
You can't. My ex-wife and I, we would both effectively work part-time to make it work so that we had that good balance. And sure, things didn't work out very well in the end. But from that point, I will be forever grateful to have that time with my children. Right? So,
absolutely.
On that, whoa, look at that time. Thank you for talking about codependency for about 3 or 4 seconds.
We'll join the boxing match next show.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Tarek.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for being part of Progress Over Perfection here on Edge Radio Australia.